Hello ladies, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to start a new series all about etiquette. If you are new to my channel, you may not know my name, you might not know my journey, but my name is Nicole and I have been on a little bit of a level up journey this past year, and I did take part in the Secrets of the Elite Women course with Anna Bay, or School of Affluence, however you know her. And it's been almost a year since I took the program. And I'll be honest with you, when I went through the program the first time, the etiquette module wasn't my favorite. But as the months have gone on, I am finding such a sweet spot in my heart for etiquette. And it's something that I've been slowly trying to implement in my life. So I thought we could quickly talk about etiquette over the month of December, especially because a lot of us will be going out, we'll be dining with friends, we will be hosting people at our homes. So I thought, what better time to talk about etiquette than now? So in this video, I thought that we could go over what etiquette is, how we can use it, and why it matters. If you saw one of my previous videos, I think in summer on this channel, you would have seen that I read this book from Micah Meyer. It is Modern Etiquette Made Easy. And what I liked about this book is that it taught you how to use certain etiquette protocols in certain situations. And even in the School of Affluence course, Secrets of the Elite Women, that's a mouthful, she teaches the most formal kind of etiquette because you can then always become more casual. Whereas if you learn the most formal way, you can essentially dumb it down or water it down depending on the situation that you may be in. Now, the other thing that you may want to consider when you are looking at learning etiquette is that depending on where you are in the world, the rules that you might be following might be a little bit different. So for example, there's American etiquette, then there is British etiquette, which is the most formal kind of etiquette, and then there's French etiquette, and obviously culturally different, cultures are going to have different etiquette rules, right? So I do think it's important to say that even though you read a book and even though you may put yourself through a program, it might vary depending on the situation that you're in. Now, before I jump into what etiquette is, I do want to preface this by saying that even when you are learning these rules, and I don't think that you'll necessarily be learning it all from me, I'm definitely no pro, I just like sharing what I'm learning whilst I'm learning it. I just want you to give yourself grace that you will mess up. I went to the pump rooms in Bath over summer and I did film a little etiquette video because I had been learning how to hold a champagne glass properly or a wine glass properly. And in the etiquette TikTok that I filmed, because I've been loving documenting my level up journey on TikTok as well, I held the glass in the proper manner, but then when I was filming a TikTok that was just showing the decor and the ambiance, etc., I then totally forgot to hold it in the proper way. So until it becomes a habit, just give yourself grace. Now I feel like I never hold the glass wrong, but when it is first becoming a habit of yours, just give yourself some grace because you will kind of waver between doing it the incorrect way and the correct way, and you will feel like an imposter. And for me, that's why I've liked documenting my journey, because that, I don't want to say embarrassment, but when people call you out on something, it does make you remember it a little bit more. And there was somebody who commented on my TikTok being like, you're holding the glass wrong, and that kind of shocked me into doing it right, and I'm a little bit more conscious of it now. So I had to put that out there. Okay, so let's talk about what etiquette even is. I did write down a definition I found online, and it says, etiquette is a customary code of polite behavior in society among members of a particular profession or group. Now, I don't fully agree with that definition because I think etiquette is something that can be practiced across the board no matter what class group you're in, what profession you have, or what group that you're in. But what I'm finding is that often, usually people in certain circles that are in certain atmospheres and certain environments are typically the people that end up practicing etiquette a little bit more. I think it's pretty standard to know, don't put your elbows on the table, don't, do bodily functions at the dining table. But I think that when you dive a little bit deeper into etiquette, then I think that's when you'll typically find it's a certain character type of people that have really kind of expanded on their etiquette and their manners. But that's not necessarily always the case. So next I thought we could talk about why is etiquette even important. For me personally, I've really noticed that often when certain boundaries have been crossed with me, it is primarily due to etiquette and manners not being in place. Perhaps someone asked me a question that is a little bit too invasive. Perhaps somebody treats my home in a manner that I didn't deem as respectful. And usually if you kind of go back and you get to the root of it, it comes down to manners. And that's personally the way that I like to look at etiquette. It's about having the proper manners for a situation. However, I did also look up online why etiquette matters, and this was the general consensus that I was getting. It says, etiquette helps us know how to behave and conduct ourselves in different environments. Etiquette is not about being perfect or prim and proper. It's not about class, profession, or rich or well educated. And I completely agree with that. Personally, I find etiquette is honestly about having the right manners for a situation and not crossing certain boundaries. Think of it this way. Have you ever gone somewhere and perhaps people were acting in a manner that wasn't appropriate for the place that they were? Maybe it was a bridal shower, but then a bunch of people came in and they were absolutely lawless and wasted and hanging off of the chandeliers. It wouldn't have been the proper manner of acting for the event that they were at or ever, but hopefully that makes sense. Last but not least, for this introductory video in this series about etiquette, I thought we could talk about how can we go about practicing proper etiquette. And here are some of the things that I've found has helped me. 1, going to places where you can practice proper etiquette. As I mentioned, I went to the pump rooms in Bath and it was just stunning. And you don't have to go somewhere fancy in order to practice proper etiquette, but you are going to be a lot more likely to practice certain etiquette and proper etiquette if you do go out somewhere fancy or somewhere that fits the environment of the etiquette that you're looking to practice. Hopefully that makes sense. The next way that I've been practicing the etiquette that I've been learning is hosting. I have been loving hosting people because you can totally put certain skills into practice when you're having people into your home and you're hosting for them. Now, the next way that I have been practicing proper etiquette has been brushing up on it. If you just read something once, you're not going to save it in your mind, and then you're not going to be able to practice out in real life. Although I've read this book, I cannot wait to get into another book, and I cannot wait to maybe even take a workshop or a class, which brings me to my next point on how you can practice proper etiquette. I do think that getting in person in front of somebody who's specialized in this is going to be something that can help you leaps and bounds instead of just thinking about it, meditating on it, or practicing it in your own home. It's like when you're learning a language and it's only when you start speaking that language with native speakers or people speaking in that tongue as their native tongue that you really can learn the cadence and the flow and start speaking it in a manner that is the most accurate. I think etiquette is going to be the exact same way. For me personally, I've started looking at certain supper clubs or private members groups, things like that I would like to go alongside some coaching that I do in the future. But as I mentioned, I think really you will put these skills to test when you put them into practice. And once you start putting them into practice, you'll notice that you start picking up on when you are doing it wrong. I know that I've noticed that about myself, that even though I haven't gone and put it into practice with other people who are on a journey such as myself, I've noticed when I go out that, not that I'm trying to notice when someone else is doing it wrong, but if I notice somebody else doing it wrong, it then makes me start to do it right, if that makes sense. So those are the tips that I have. Those are the things that I've learned most importantly. And I want to know, are you somebody that likes etiquette? Do you think that it's just a little bit stereotypical for people who are on a level up journey or in the kind of femininity space, elegance space? Or do you think it's kind of typical of people who are in the femininity, kind of elegance, level up space? I used to think that, but now I'm absolutely here for it. Anyways, my friends, thank you so much for watching this video. I can't wait to talk to you a little bit more about etiquette and share the things that I've been learning, and hopefully we can learn from each other too. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.